You are now tuned into the Low Key Thriving podcast. We're creating a space for growth, prosperity, and wholeness through a multidimensional approach is our thing. So stay locked in. I have a lot in store for you. According to Forbes, most Americans are now getting their news from social media. People aren't reading the newspaper like they used to. In a Pew's research, they reported 55% of adults are now getting their news from social media either often or sometimes. And as a result, it's hard to determine facts from the fiction. The weaponization of social media over the years is intriguing and disheartening to say the least. As a millennial and as a person who believes I was the second person to have a Facebook account, I was thrusted into this world of social media at the age of 17. I was a freshman in college. I was excited about life and my future. And go ahead and date myself, it was the early 2000s. I remember uploading my first Facebook picture using a scanner. And the picture came from my digital camera that was separate from my cell phone. Just thinking about this, I've never looked back since, it's just been like this spiraling movement of growth between me and social media that has ultimately led me to podcasting. As I reflect now, I've just seen the dismantling of trust in social media and how it has unfolded over the years. To say that I've, never contemplated deleting all my social media accounts would be a lie. I've had the ups and down feelings and emotions with social media where I get frustrated and I'm just like, whatever, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of crap. I have, and it's been a tumultuous love-hate relationship with this thing, and anyone who is close to me can tell you that I can really get on my anti-social media rants and go on and on if you let me. But, instead of swearing off all social media and deleting all my accounts, I'm choosing to harness its power for good. This is the episode where I'm going to let my inner rebel show and throw my fist in the air and, free speech me, please. My little renegade is going to speak her piece, and this is my steed. Essentially, I've just collected all my final thoughts with where I've seen social media grow and move from. And I just want to let the people know, don't drink the Kool-aid. That's not sugar that's making it so sweet. After watching the Netflix documentary, Social Dilemma, it came out this year, probably September-ish. Don't quote me on that. I got an idea. My husband and I, we were sitting there and we watched it and we had a little discussion. Basically, we just asked ourselves, has social media really warped the minds of Americans and, young adults and teens? Is it really that bad? Is it really this nefarious cyberspace of negativity and lies and rumor and blog sites? Surely a level-headed person can consume that content and have some common sense and understand that this is not always real. Can people still determine or differentiate the real from the fake? If you want to test that concept or that thought process, think about the debate of women with plastic surgery versus a natural real body and the comments that people have going back and forth with that. Whether it's right or wrong, or if this individual has real body parts or if they're unnatural. I don't know. I just felt like I believed in the greater good of the human race, and surely no one could just be pulled in under the riptide of social media and become drowned in this fictitious world. Yes, I do believe in the algorithm, and when you watch the documentary, the creators of some of our favorite apps, they created the algorithm that you hear about or whatever, and they wrote it to show us the things that we like and the things that we watch. They repeatedly put that in front of us so we can consume it on a daily basis or hourly basis, however you log on. social media, but I do truly believe it's written to target our minds and influence our thoughts, whether it be positive or it be negative. I even use it for this podcast. I want to reach people who are interested in podcasts, put my content in front of people that consume that information. If I was putting out content that was malicious in its intention, I can see how a young or immature mind can consume that on a daily basis all the time and it not be healthy for them if they aren't whole or if they don't have a lot of support. I remember my husband saying can a meme really manipulate someone's personal opinion? And my guts tell me yes. Look at a political debate about our current election and you tell me what you think. Have you seen a blog comment section or a comment section on Facebook and it just blow your mind at the thought process or the logic behind how people feel about certain things? Even from the latest celebrity gossip to the last thing you typed into your Google search bar, your social media apps are all collectively collecting those cache and those cookies, and they're placing that information in front of you wherever you spend the most time. And it's all being tracked. This app is connected to that app. They know what we like. They know what our interests are. They know our dirty little secrets. They even know what videos you like to watch. And they're going to constantly place that in front of you. My husband and I have this joke where we say our phones are listening to us. Even down to right now, I'm in my home studio. Go ahead and claim that. Put that out in the universe. In my closet, and my phone is in here with me. And this is my own little test since having that conversation and all these things for me to see if my phone is listening and if it's gonna pay attention, or you know what I mean, even my Google searches, if it's gonna start dropping certain things into my timeline. So I'll let y'all know in a few days whenever I drop this episode. But when I watched Social Dilemma, I basically just learned that the algorithm is unique and special to each and every one of us. It's that specific. Your algorithm data looks different from my algorithm data, and what you see on your daily timeline is carefully curated to feed you information. It's tailor-made just for you, nobody else. Unless you let your kids get on your cell phone and they Google all kinds of crazy stuff or look up crazy things, then you'll start to get some of the things that they look for. But it just shows you what you like to see. It shows you who you like to get it from, and it learns you. It learns how you consume it and what you do with it. Even down to sending somebody a message and the message contains a video or a link to something. It's following that, right? So don't get off. I'm not getting off on the Big Brother tangent. I'm just saying they're really tracking it. You know what I mean? And what do we do with that? That's what I thought when I was creating this episode. Okay, so they're consuming these big databases for us and what humans like to see in this big cloud somewhere. And what do we do with it? Some of us gossip with it and a friend looks it up and looks into it. Some of us, share it in debates at social circles, and some of us go on rants, and some of us just laugh at it and dismiss it. And we all do this, whether you fall into the trap or not. We all do this. Don't be ashamed. I just want us to be informed. That's what this episode is about. I just want us to stop, to think and to fact check what we're consuming. Use discernment. Ask yourself, what I'm watching, is this really true? Or is this what I'm reading? Is this really a fact? Or is this somebody creating something to incite an emotion, And in doing that, think back of all the things that you've ever shared or saw and consumed, and was it truly a thought of your own, or was it truly something that aligned with who you are as a person? Just ask yourself that whenever you see these things. How much of it is a fact? Is it the red pill or is it the blue pill? You know what I mean? Like, are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Is the Kool-Aid red? Is it red Kool-Aid or is it cherry? You know what I mean? You tell me. Hey y'all, what's up? Liking what you're hearing so far on the LKT podcast? Be sure to follow us on social media at LKT Podcast, or you can check out my website at www.lktpodcast.com. Be sure to leave a comment or sign up in the email subscription box, or you can also send me any of your ideas on topics you want to hear in the future. I have a lot in store for you, a lot of things that you want to hear. So I don't mind mixing in some good ideas on juicy topics in between there. So be sure to check it out. In my research for this episode, I came across the story of an interesting lady named Maria Ressa. Maria is a Filipino-American journalist and author who has had a controversial run going head-to-head with the social media fake news engine, and I'll just call it that. Some may call it the Matrix. But anywho, she is the co-founder of Rappler. Rappler is a Filipino online news website. She basically was catapulted into fame because she reported a propaganda scheme of the Filipino government that was claiming things were happening, and she was reporting the growing death toll of a government cover-up. It was kind of like this gang-style killing scheme, and it was orchestrated by the police. Their leader, this boisterous, bold, kingpin-style guy, like when you read up on this guy, I won't say his name, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He created this campaign to, on the face value of it, make it seem like he's doing a thing to help the country and to stop drug trafficking and the war on drugs. And, you know, a lot of these people were just murdered in the street. Mass shootings, killings, people were, you know, dying, very gruesome, very bloody. But she quickly became the target of this smear campaign for her efforts to tell the truth. And on places like Facebook or the news, they made it appear like the drug problems were resolving. And Ressa was reporting them as, no, they're not. They're just being replaced. Also, they're just being shot in the street. Like, it's the OK Corral out here. And so a hashtag was created, and it was hashtag arrest Maria Ressa. And she began to receive a wave of like hate mail and death threats online. And so instead of succumbing to all of this cyberbullying, she created a database to collect all the information and where it was coming from. And she just collected all that data. She basically found a common link. And essentially, she found that there was a astroturfing campaign against her. So astroturfing, what is that, Lo? It is basically an organized campaign made to look like a grassroots uprising from the people, like it was organically created. In psychology, they call it groupthink. And people on social media, basically, they will latch on to this idea of what they think something is. And with time and constant posting and constant reminders and putting that in front of people's timelines, even creating fake accounts like those fake robots, have them chime in, and they will create like this smear campaign, if you will, against a person, a religious belief, an act, or an event. And this is carefully thought out, and the message is carefully orchestrated and placed so it can saturate on the online websites with a certain narrative. Then this will be picked up by blog sites and the news, and eventually it will become a talking point on government platforms and political press addresses or presidential elections. We may call it the bandwagon effect. This creates a distrust in like the public belief in what they see in the news and in the media. And then we begin to question everything, even down to the facts, things that were really true and what really happened. then we'll just have this vicious cycle of going back and forth of, oh, that's not real or this is real. And then we're not being careful about what we're picking and choosing as what is reality. And then we lose democracy. We gossip, we spread this controversy and all these lies, and they're bombarding our timelines and everything. And now we're losing our wisdom, our common sense. It all goes out of the door. The logic, nothing makes sense anymore, and everything, it just goes awry. Essentially, it creates fear. And now here we are. We're hearing these things and we're saying, what if what if this isn't real? And then we hear from the conspiracy theorists, and we all know at least one. And, we're starting to believe everything that they say. So, how many of us are really getting facts? Are we really seeing things for what they are? Are we really the victims of Russian astroturfing? Are we seeing the disconnect? Are we drinking the social media Kool-aid? Are we helplessly becoming victims of fake news in a cat and mouse game that we have no control of? I just feel like I just want to put this podcast out there to essentially ask us to be careful. Fact check what you're looking at. Use discernment. Use logic. There's nothing wrong with seeing if what you're consuming on social media, a meme, a video, whatever, what have you, if it's true, if there's some validity to it. Because, disinformation is something we should all pay attention to. We should all try to make sure what we consume is, that's my main concern. This is my main concern, that it's healthy for our mental health, and B, make sure it's a fact. Make sure it's real and it's just not hoopla. And I like this quote by Risa. She stated, and I quote, "Propaganda has always been around. Everyone will tell you that. But we've never felt it like today because technology has enabled mass manipulation at a scale I could never imagine. At the heart of all this destruction are American social media technology platforms. They are now the world's largest distributor of the news, allowing lies to spread faster than facts. A virus has been unleashed in the global body of politics," end quote. What I took away from this is how we consume social media is like a social responsibility, especially if you want to share it with others, to share a common interest. Because now I feel like even if you're on the right or the left, what have you, that's not what this episode is about. Make sure even on your side that the information that you're collecting is still a fact. Because, I like to talk to people and see what their thoughts are. Just make sure what you're consuming is a fact. It's real, because you don't know if someone else is regurgitating what they heard somebody else say and if it's just all made up. I feel like it's inciting fear, and it can be frightening if you think about the mass majority of people who are just easily convinced of something that they see online because it's the truth. It was on the internet, it must be true. But what we consume, we have to do our due diligence and fact check the emotionally triggering posts or videos that we see. Try to follow someone with different views than your own, and don't just automatically shun away someone's opinion because it's different than yours. They just may see it from a different perspective. I'm gonna, go ahead and throw it out there. I'm be on a limb. And I'm gonna say, as long as it doesn't infringe upon your core beliefs, like you have to change in that moment what you truly believe, or if you don't feel threatened by it, hear them out. It's worth taking a look at it and seeing for what it is, even if you don't agree with. You don't have to walk away from your research saying, you know what, I'm going to change because they were right. No, just do your due diligence. Give it time. I feel like time tells the truth in all things. So just don't live your life in a bubble, and it's okay to agree to disagree, okay? You don't always have to agree with other people, and I hope that we can all be mature and feel safe in thinking differently from each other. And it's okay to be different. Yeah, just don't drink the Kool-Aid, y'all. if you're consuming something and on the social media and it's triggering you and you feel like, yeah, frogs are horrible people, look into it. Are frogs even people? Are they even worth getting so upset about? You know what I'm saying? As absurd as frogs are people do. You know what I mean? As absurd as that is, and we all know frogs aren't people. As absurd as that is, and it sounds, you and I both know, and that's a fact, that frogs aren't people. But you let the right group of people churn a message and a narrative, and we all know, you know, what I'm talking about. People, you will start to hear people saying things like, yeah, I saw some people and they show look like frogs. Times are changing, you know, I don't know out here, you know, like you'll be surprised what social media can do. It really can influence people. So I just want the people to be careful. I just want people to use discernment and really look into what you're saying, okay? Hey y'all, what's up? Liking what you're hearing so far on the LKT podcast? Be sure to follow us on social media at LKT Podcast, or you can check out my website at www.lktpodcast.com. Be sure to leave a comment or sign up in the email subscription box, or you can also send me any of your ideas on topics you want to hear in the future. I have a lot in store for you, a lot of things that you want to hear. So don't mind mixing in some good ideas on juicy topics in between there. So be sure to check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and close y'all out here. You know, I love to hear from you guys. Reach out to your girl. Hit me up. Talk to me in the comments. Y'all are acting real scary out here. I want to hear from you, okay? So check me out on www.lktpodcast.com. That's all one word, LKTPODCAST. And check out my recent updates and IG posts. And make sure you leave a comment at LKT Podcast on Instagram and tell me what you think about this episode, okay? As always, you know, make sure you share this. If you like my episode, I would love it, love it, love it, love it if you share this with a family member or a friend. All right, y'all? So don't forget to give thanks, spread love, and keep it cute. Thank you for listening to the Low Key Thriving podcast. Be sure to check back for more episodes on things you love. Also, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at LKT Podcast. Again, that's LKT Podcast. All right, see you later.